How funny is this? This is my face mask now. So no one can yell at me anymore. It's also a set of sunnies. 65, 16 to 35, 24 to 70. What else? I always keep heaps of shit like in my side pockets. There's like portable chargers and like sunglasses and tripod things. This is like for my nose because I have like a sniffly nose. I don't anymore. So that can all fuck off. And then what else? That's it. Okay, not too heavy. Okay, well, I guess my name would be Mike. North Borders is the street name. No, full name is Michael, but no one calls me Michael unless my dad's really angry at me. He'd call me downstairs, like, Michael, did you graffiti that kid's scooter? Because when I was younger, I graffitied some kid's scooter. I wrote stupid on him because I didn't like him. And his dad called up the house. So like when I do something, when I'm in trouble, I get called Michael. But for the most part, my name is Mike, otherwise known as North Borders. Look at this fog right now. I started with photography when I was about, I want to say like 12, 13, when I first got my proper camera, because I used to make little skateboarding videos and stuff. Well, the channel is still up as well, actually. It's my first YouTube channel called Sherwood Skate. So it would be me and a bunch of my mates and stuff. We'd just go out and ride skateboards. And then I ended up being behind the camera and also in front of the camera at the same time. Because some videos I would review skateboards and stuff. And the other times when my friends were skateboarding, I'd like to like take pictures of them or something like that. And then it slowly went into like graffiti because I was very interested in that space, like being out at nighttime, and just that whole scene just interested me because I found it fun because it was so illegal, I guess. And then I slowly got into more night photography through that and being like, well, look, I don't want to do graffiti and stuff because that doesn't really lead you anywhere. And I slowly found myself doing like steel wool, long exposures, light painting, without even really going into the city or even touching any of the urban space. And I also really found it fun, sorry Dad, but I found it fun to sneak out of the house. So it was like part of the mission was to like sneak out and then just like go out and shoot literally all morning, pretend to sleep and then wake up for school. And then like edit photos at school basically. And then it slowly turned into something that I could figure out that I would go out at nighttime, and I figured that I sort of had a little bit of a niche there because there weren't that many people in my city that were going out and taking night photos and getting creative with that. And then as I slowly started to grow like the North Borders brand, I started to be known for just night photography. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I've got a little bit of a niche. People know me as like the night photographer. And I was like, all right, well, I want to keep doing this because it's fun. And then slowly built that into where it is today. And still to this day, I love going out at nighttime and just taking photos for fun. I sort of got it before. Yeah, I pretty much got it before. That. The reflection. And the bus was cool as well. I think it's really important you're not just looking at eye level. You got to look down, up, left, right, what reflects, what refracts, symmetry, leading lines. There's so much to look at. That's why I love like shooting in an urban environment. There's shit going on everywhere. Oh, that was a core workout. I guess, yeah, it is still weird for me to call it like a business because I love it so much. Like I'm very passionate about just photography and going out to shoot for fun. Like I really do enjoy going out and taking photos when I don't have to document it whatsoever. Although I love making YouTube videos as well, that definitely feels like work. And then going out and just taking photos for fun. Don't have to show anyone. You can just edit them and do my own thing is still like, I'm still really passionate about that. So to call it a business, to get to that stage, I used to work at a car dealership and I loved actually working at the car dealership. It was like the perfect job for me because I love cars and then I was also the photographer. So like I could just be around cool cars all day taking photos and I was like, yeah, this is like the perfect job. Like I was like to myself as a joke, I was like, I'd only ever leave this job if I could, I don't know, like get paid to travel the world or something like that. When I literally found out about YouTube and I was like, okay, maybe I could turn this into something that I want to do because YouTube allows me to be myself and I can make my own work on there and I get all the freedom I want to say whatever I want. And so I was very much myself, probably a bit too much myself when I first started. That's why I hate looking at my old videos like that I first put on North Borders because it's like so cringe to look at. But then you learn, like obviously every time you make your first video, it's always going to be shit. So like as I did more of that, I started to figure out, okay, I think I'm going to be more myself, tone it down a bit and just like go out and take photos for fun or whatever.
Lower here. And oh, just chef's kiss. Like, you know, look. I've always liked looking up, you know? I think more photographers need to look up, definitely. So I just want to encourage that. Choosing the wide angle as well. So when you, what I would recommend with every lens that you have on, you have to think through that lens. Or when I have a wide angle on, I'm looking at everything, I'm looking at the big picture. So generally when you have tall buildings, they have to end, it's nice to shoot things in your frame and seeing your subject's end, which is generally with buildings in the sky. So it makes sense to look up.
Does make sense, yeah.
It does make sense? Okay, that's good. Really fucking good reflection. Ah, that's what I should have gone with the fucking bus. But of course she gets it. She's actually the better photographer. We should make a documentary about her. Your YouTube channel. What's it? She's a photographer, you know. And like and subscribe, please. That's a fun. Thank you. No worries. Can we get the fuck out of here, please?
It's funny because Liam, or 7th Era, is the first person I ever met with off Instagram. So he was the first person that I ever messaged to meet up and shoot with because I didn't have any photography friends when I was just starting out. And so one day I found Liam's profile and I saw his photos were sort of similar to mine. I think when I messaged him, he had about 400 followers and I had about 800, I think. Back in like, that was like I want to say like 2015, 2016. It was really cool to be anonymous as a photographer. So to not show your face, to have like this second name, kind of like with graffiti. I think that's why I was so drawn to it as well. And Liam was the same. So Liam, 7th Era, he was sort of in that same boat where he was like, oh, this is really cool to have like a second name. And so I messaged him and I was like, yo man, like I didn't know anything of what he looked like, how old he was, where he lived, what his friends were like, nothing. Just shot him a message, hey man, like your photos. And then we met up and then he actually brought along a friend because he thought I was maybe dodgy or something. He's like, oh, his name's North Borders. Does that mean he's from like the northern suburbs, which are dodgy in Melbourne? Yeah, probably 16 when we first started taking photos together. And then it sort of went on from there. Yeah, it was really good to have someone who was basically in the creative mind as you were. So you'd sort of pump each other up and be interested in the same thing. So me and Liam had a lot of history before we met Hayden a good 2 and a bit years later until we started doing YouTube together.
Somewhere here. just how symmetrical it is, you know, like so many leading lines, and there's one side, the right side of the image, that's just like in pieces. It's like being worked on. I think it's like a little bit of, like, it's not completely perfect, which is what I like about it. You know, there's like, it's like a little Easter egg. It's like parts under construction, and the rest of it is so perfect, like perfectly symmetrical, perfect leading lines, and then there's like holes and stuff missing in it.
Yeah, I guess that was the thing why I wanted to go into YouTube in the first place, is when I was first learning photography and having to watch tutorials. You're watching tutorials from some boring, like 50-year-old dude, and that's just putting you to sleep. And I'm like, dude, like, just crack a joke. Like, this fucking sucks to sit here, because you need to know that, like, one little thing or whatever. And you have to, like, sit there and listen to some tutorial that just is so boring. And I was like, if I ever got to a stage where I could teach people about this sort of stuff, I'd at least try and make it entertaining. Like, you can still get information out of it and actually learn something, but you'd actually enjoy watching it, which I think is the best way to learn something. The photo walks are really good to do because I get to meet people that are actually inspired by the work that I do, which is like the coolest thing about making YouTube videos, is seeing people, like, they're not just numbers, you know, they're not just views or whatever, it's actual people that can get inspired from something that I get to make. And that's really nice to be able to meet those people and get to talk to those people about what they're inspired to do and what they've then done with that inspiration, which is really cool, which gets me inspired, which makes me want to keep going. I think that's the biggest thing, like, because of COVID and being in lockdown for so long, and then being able to do these photo walks now and getting to meet these people that are inspired, it makes me just want to do more and more of them. So next year is definitely the goal, to just do as many photo walks as possible, to meet as many of the people who like our stuff as possible, and meet as many of them as possible.
In focus and everything.
Yeah, it's good, not shaky, worth it. Very cool, very nice.
Walk and talk.
Yeah, well, we just got asked if we went in there, and I simply said, no, that wasn't us. And now we're out. Was that you lot that went in there? No. And he gets on the walkie-talkie. He's like, it wasn't them. Obviously it was us. Like, quite clearly it was us, but like, he was like going the other way down the escalators. I couldn't do shit.
One of my favorite memories was being in Japan and having the idea of the photo battle. When we first had the idea, was a really cool moment. It was actually Lamon who came up with the idea. And it's so funny to think about, because if you watch the first photo battle, which is the one we did in Osaka in Japan, I remember sitting in a restaurant, and it was Lamon and Hayden and me. We were waiting to order some food or whatever, and I quickly go up to go to the bathroom, and I come back, and Hayden and Lamon look at me, and Hayden's like, bro, Lamon just had the best idea. And I was like, what? And Hayden's like, Lamon, tell him. And Lamon's like, I think it'd be cool if like you and Hayden like versed each other in like a photo battle or something like that. And then we were just like, and I was like, well, how would it work though? And it's like, oh, you know, maybe like we all go off in like a different direction. Whoever took the best photo won or something. And we built on that idea until we were like, all right, Lamon, we're versing you as well. And he's like, what, me? And I was like, yeah, you. And he goes, but I can't vlog. Like, I've never been in front of a camera. Like, I don't have a vlogging camera. He's like trying every excuse to get out of being in front of the camera. And I'm like, mate, just use your fucking phone. And so we bully Lamon into being into the first photo battle. So if you watch the video, it's actually his first ever time vlogging and being on camera. which we think you did a really good job, because it's not easy just to get thrown into the deep end. But when you're on the photo battle and you're on a time limit and you're trying to run around, and if you don't get the 3 photos, you're disqualified. It's like, you're not thinking about all this shit. Like, you're just thinking about getting the shots. You're just filming whatever. And I think when we did that and we completed the video and Hayden edited it and we watched it back, I think that's when we knew we had made something that was, you know, like we found a bit of a gold mine there, for something that sort of like I was saying, ticks every box of a good like photography video. So that's probably like one of my favorite memories, is like thinking about how it all started. Yeah.
I'm switching to the 70-200 because I'm bored of this lens.
What do you think life will look like for you in 5 years? It's a tough question, really. I can't even plan this afternoon. I know next year I would love to focus, like I said, on making photo battles and doing photo walks and stuff. So I think eventually one day it'd be really cool to become more of a teacher, set up a course maybe one day, maybe set up an even bigger community of photographers that can just, like, maybe, I don't know how it's gonna work really, but like, just be able to inspire more people to do something they love, whether it even is photography or not, because there is definitely enough money in the world for everyone to just go and do their own thing that they love. Because I feel like there's a lot of people right now, I feel like it's gotten worse and worse because of social media. People see a highlight reel of someone's life and then get upset that that's not them, even though it's not reality. But I feel like there should be more people in the world that should be doing things that they love. And I think being able to show how someone can do that would be something I would like to be able to do one day. So maybe that. Yeah. YouTube, I think, definitely brings that out of you, brings that sort of, I don't care about people's opinions, I just want to do me. And I think that's a really important thing to have as a creative, is to really just do your own thing, be yourself, come out of your shell. Not everyone's like that. Some people are more introverted, and that's fine, but you can still be yourself and be weird and be different, because by being weird and being different, and people can call you all sorts of names, that's being original. When you're weird, you're original. And I think that's where the difference sort of lies, in my opinion.
Keep it, please.